Hello, and how are you? I hope that everything is doing great. So, the whole reason why I got into today's assignment is because of timing. These last couple of weeks with timing have been very interesting and very eye opening. I've learned about the pomodoro method, which I didn't even know existed. I just knew it had to do with pasta making, pomodoro style. It's also to do with timing. And that was very eye opening to me. I've heard of time blocking, I've heard of different methods of time management. And this is being used for many different um, manners of getting things done. Now, I'm pausing here a moment because I'm totally getting all off here. Um, it's been very eye-opening because I knew that they use time blocking for neurodivergent, which I didn't know that term. I don't know when that term came around. I have not investigated enough, but I really like it. And the reason I like the term neurodivergent so well is because it's a myriad of different mental health and learning challenges that are all consolidated together into one. So it's not like saying, oh, well, you've got this mental health issue or that mental health issue or whatever, all the way down the line. No, it is all under one umbrella. It's just accepted. It is what it is. I was labeled at a very young age in a very bad way, but it has been revamped, reset, and it might end up into some things super positive. Who knows? What I do know is that these same methods, this Pomodoro timekeeping method, the time blocking method, also works really well with fibromyalgia. It really does. It helps to allow the body to recuperate from the previous time set and then to go again. And I'm not going to come on and share with you about scheduling or anything like that unless I know for a fact within myself that it actually works. It does. Now, I thought, I'm not going to get much done, 25 minutes, then 5-minute break, 25 minutes, 10-minute break. You're not. I went back and reviewed everything that I've gotten done since starting this time blocking and reviewed everything, and I haven't gotten it done to my mental desire, but I've gotten stuff done. I've gotten things completed. I've gotten things accomplished. I've been able to move on. I've gotten a lot of stuff destroyed in the process. I've discovered that I break things super easy, and it's not because I want to, it's because my setup and situation, as you can see in the backdrop, I've got things, some things are the same, some things are a little skewed. It's because I've been trying to organize, and I've been trying this Pomodoro method. Yeah. The Pomodoro method does work. In some instances, it's better to just do. And I know that's part of why I stopped writing down my goals and time setting and getting things done. And I know the reason why. It's because I kept getting so frustrated. It's like, I'm focusing more on what I want to get done than to just getting the stuff done. I mean, seriously. But you know what? For as much as timing it out, setting it up, and saying this is what's going to get done at this time, that's kind of what happens at school. In the school setting, you're in a time blocking setting. At work, you're in a time blocking setting. The difference is that in school, you're being instructed of what to do. In a work setting, you're being instructed what to do. But when you're doing it on your own, you are in charge of making sure you get stuff done. These are just different pieces of the elements that I've noticed and really put them together. And fibromyalgia, chronic pain, and chronic fatigue do not do well with a time-centered piece here at a job site where they say, okay, you have this time to get this done, and if you don't get it done, then there's going to be repercussions. That doesn't work with those health conditions. It also doesn't work with neurodivergence. In fact, it'll cause a massive frustration. And in fibromyalgia and all these other health issues, not only frustration, but it can actually cause more chronic pain and more fatigue. So rather than going against the grain, more than pushing the envelope, it's better to put it on yourself and to take into yourself, which I found that also to be challenging because when you're working for somebody else, you're a guaranteed income. Whereas if you do it on your own, it all falls on your shoulders, adding a new set of stressful situation. And I bring this up only because I really have been in this complete process myself. And I have talked to people about doing work myself. I've talked about me working for others. Working for others. I'm like, yeah, and the minute they tell me to do something, if my body doesn't agree with it, then it's not going to happen. Not because I don't want to, but because my body's saying, ow, I hurt. Now I'm talking just movement. I'm talking reaching up high on shelves. I'm talking being on a phone, taking surveys or doing work on the phone. I am talking doing grocery work. I'm talking manufacturing work. I'm talking all these different kinds of work. If my body doesn't agree, it's not going to work. Now, I don't know if you can relate. And I don't get many comments on whether or not people understand this or not. Sometimes I do. I do share this on Instagram and get input on Instagram, which I really do appreciate. I'm finding that I enjoy quite a bit on sharing on my podcast. Yep, I have a podcast and I'm getting it down pat. It's taking me a moment or two, but I bring up the podcast for a reason because, like scheduling, like the pomodoro method, which is typically 25 minutes with a 5-minute break, you can adjust it whatever it works. Taking those chunks and sometimes reversing them. So instead of going from YouTube and doing lives, which I've admitted in the past that I'm not technical. So everything that I do is raw. That's why I figure, why not do it live? I mean, you're going to get it raw anyways. But if I were to do like a guest speaking, I know it's possible to do. I don't know how to do it. Too techy. I also know that YouTube standards, YouTube rules don't allow me to be able to go on travel such because it has to be done to do live because it won't allow on a cell phone or video. It won't allow it. Can I record it and then put it on? Yeah. Same with the podcast. Can record it. And that's the only way I know how to with a podcast is just to record it and then post it. Sometimes when you have ADHD and other neurodivergent issues, doing a traditional work like what we would normally expect doing grocery work, doing manufacturing, doing creations, doing crafting, doing whatever. Sometimes it's easier to flip it. That means the traditional way, but backwards. Dyslexia, same thing. So in my case, I was diagnosed with mild dyslexia and ADHD, to name a couple. And I am learning that I'm having to switch things. So with my experience so far in my podcasting, which has gone well, not viral, but it's gone well, I'm looking at taking the podcast and putting them here, and taking this and putting it there. Maybe because most of my stuff in the last year is live. So I'm looking at doing some recording. I'm also looking at doing some non-records and seeing the different responses. Because one thing I have learned through this whole process in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, is that I'm going back to my entertainment stuff. I've gotten emotional because what I'm being told about coaching and being told about the being an ordained minister and so on is that you have to have all these programs and these courses. And frankly, I don't care. I really don't. Do I have them? Yes. Do I care? No. I'd pretty much give them away for free. That's how much I care. But I love the entertainment industry, and I love sharing the knowledge and expertise that I gain so that you don't have to go through the same hassles and the same challenges and the same pains and the same, I don't want to see you have to go through that. If I've already gone through it, why do we both need to go through it now? And that goes for people who know somebody. Maybe you're not going through it, but you know somebody who's going through it. You can help them to avoid going through some of the pitfalls. Then that's a win. It's huge. So what I'm looking at possibly doing is a switch and seeing what happens. And that means going from podcasting and putting it on here and taking this and putting it there. It's an experiment that I'm going to try probably, I want to say, for the next month. And I'm sharing with you this because it's a matter of accountability as well. One thing I do struggle with is making sure that I do things on a regular basis. That's something I've noticed, especially this year, because I've desired to do a few things, and I just, where you have a desire, it's just like, blah. It kind of, you have this puffed up desire, and it's like, yeah, I really like this. And then you get to it, and it's like, ugh. And you discover it's not exactly what you not really at all. And that's what I've been experiencing a lot of this year. But I had to go back and define the why. And I know that part of the why is just the lack of connection, the lack of build, the lack of the one thing that I've been stressing from the very beginning, comprehension of technology. And I have told many of girlfriends that I have gained through time, technology is not my friend. And I'm not mindset this at all. People are like, it's all about mindset. It's all about how you think about it. Tell me a new one, please, because I'm going to be honest with you. My teachers, back when we had IBM computers, now I'm aging myself, and word processors, and all these things, and I mean the old dot matrix word processors. If you're younger, you're going to have to look it up and learn about it. I had teachers chasing me out of the classroom because I crashed their computers. And not just one computer either. The whole classroom. Do not ask me how I did it. I just did. If it needed to be broke or shown that there's a way to do it, I'd do it. Not because I mean to either, because if somebody were to ask me, how did you, in fact, the teachers asked me, how did you do this? Is that important? Is it? Yeah, kind of. I don't know. It's true. Then I went to work in a call center, and it became a running joke in the call center with the IT guys. And those are the they're tech guys. They're basically it's IT. I don't know exactly what it stands for. I just know they're tech. And the guys were making jokes on me. It was fair, because he said, "Oh, I bet you touched this computer too, and that computer. At least I didn't crash down the whole entire system anymore. It was just the one computer I touched. And then I touched another computer, same thing. It's like, what are you? I don't know. So when I say that I'm tech challenged, it's a loving joke, but it's rather serious. That is why I am always asking for help. But it's also why I'm also lagging behind and having to look at doing old school, not because I want to. So until next time, I just wanted you to understand why I've been having challenges. And it's not an excuse. It's a statement of this is how it is. I'm old school trying to learn new school ways, and it just hasn't gone well. So I'm going to keep trying on this one. Yeah. And I'm going to try the switcheroo for the next month and give you guys an update. Until next time.